Finance, and I'm working with Sinhagad Institute of Business Administration, Kondwa. Okay. Now I have been given this. Okay. So I have been given this subject, that is the indirect taxation, for your syllabus. I think this is your internal subject. Am I correct? Hello. So this is the indirect taxation is the it is your internal subject. Internal subject means what? University of Pune will not conduct the examination, external examination for you. Institute itself conducts some of the internal evaluation, and through this internal evaluation, you will be evaluated for 50 marks. Okay. So in the first semester, or in the previous semester, you must have studied direct taxation. Have you studied direct taxation or not? Just reply me. Can
Yes,
anybody
sir.
reply? Okay. So you must have some basic background of the tax as well. Getting? So can you tell me, so let us first discuss about the syllabus structure of this indirect taxation. So this subject consists of 5 units. So first is introduction. So this in introduction, what we have to study, what is mean by customs, what is mean by excise duty, what is the VAT. VAT is nothing but value added tax. Then GST. GST is nothing but goods and services tax. Okay. Then we have to see the concepts of this GST, VAT, excise duty, and customs. The needs of GST, why this GST has been implemented by a central government, what is the importance and what are the advantages of this GST, and what were the disadvantages of the earlier tax, and what are the advantages of this GST. These advantages we have to study under this. Then we have to study dual GST model. Dual GST model means what? Here, whenever we are going to pay the tax, at that time we have to pay two taxes. One tax goes to the state government and one tax goes to the central government. Okay. Have you visited to DMart or any like shopping mall? Have you visited? Yes, students. Have you done the shopping?
Yes, sir.
ओके तो आपने अगर शॉपिंग किया रहेगा तो डीमार्ट के बिल काउंटर से आपको एक बिल मिला रहेगा. गेटिंग दिस? हैव यू गॉन थ्रू दैट पर्टिकुलर बिल? डीमार्ट का या बिग बाजार का या कोई भी बिल आपके पास. जस्ट इमेजिन वन बिल एंड हैव यू रेड द एंटायर थिंग्स व्हिच इज रिटन ऑन दिस. आपने पढ़ा है?
यस सर.
ओके. तो उसमें एक होता है GSTN नंबर, एक होता है GSTN नंबर. दिस इज द यूनिक नंबर गिवन टू दैट पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. गेटिंग दिस? एंड this GSTN number, that organization is going to charge some taxes. अगर आपने बिल देखा तो for example, if I went into DMart for purchasing some groceries, shopping and so many things, and when I make the bill, at that time below that particular bill, अगर मेरा 500 का बिल हो गया तो उसमें उसके नीचे होता है CGST, for example 20 rupees, and yes GST 20 rupees. तो मेरा 500 is the actual bill. उसके बाद 20 rupees I have to pay to the state government and 20 rupees I have to pay to the central government. So total amount which I have to pay through my debit card or credit card or through internet banking or through Phone Pay or Google Pay, that is 500 plus 20 plus 20, it is equal to 540 rupees you have to pay. Getting this? So this for 20 plus 20, it is the tax which as a consumer you are paying towards the state government and central government. तो उसको बोलते हैं dual GST. Dual GST means at a time you are paying tax to central government as well as state government. Getting this? So this is something about GST. So there are some of the dual aspect, that is the CGST. CGST stands for Central GST. SGST stands for State GST. Central GST means this is the authority which is collecting tax. Central government is the one of the authority which is collecting tax from the consumer. Then SGST stands for State government. So Income Tax Act has given the authorities to central government as well as state government as well as union territories to collect the tax on the income as well as to collect tax on goods and services. So dual model में क्या है? First is the CGST. CGST stands for Central Goods and Services Tax. Then SGST stands for State Goods and Services Tax. UTGST. UTGST यानी Union Territories. Union Territories कौन से हमारे? Can you just tell me any name of Union Territories? Is Union Territories. Do you know what is mean by Union Territories? केंद्र शासित प्रदेश बोलते हैं, नाम सुना है ये? Okay, so this is the Union Territories. Again, central government or that government of India has given the responsibilities, given the authorities to Union Territories to recover or to collect the tax. Getting this? So that is called as a UTGST. Okay. The next is the IGST. IGST it is for International Goods and Services Tax. Means what? If you are sending goods from one state to other state, that time it goes to IGST. So that we have to study in first unit. Then GST network. GST network means how this GST is going to operate. How this GST is going to operate. Automatically, when I'm going to pay the tax in DMart, automatically the amount of my tax is going directly to central government and some amount is going to the state government. So how this network is working? What is the steps? What are the process and how these rates are going to be managed? So this is under GST network. Okay. Then there is the GST Council. GST Council is the one of the body which operate this entire taxation model, that is the indirect taxation model. I'm not talking about direct taxation model. So GST Council is the one of the body which works under Ministry of Finance, and under Ministry of Finance there is the Central Board of Excise, Central Board of Indirect Taxes. तो सेंट्रल बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस के अंडर ये जीएसटी काउंसिल काम करता है. ओके, सो बिफोर द एंट्री ऑफ जीएसटी देयर वाज द सेंट्रल बोर्ड ऑफ इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस एंड सीबीडीटी बोलते. सीबीडीटी यानी सेंट्रल बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस एंड यहाँ पे था सेंट्रल बोर्ड ऑफ इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस. अंडर Central Board of Indirect Taxes, that's Ministry of Finance and Central Board of Indirect Taxes, they have prepared GST Council. GST Council, it is the one of the body which frame the rules and regulations, which decides the rate of GST with consultation of Ministry of Finance and Central Board of Excise and Customs. Okay. So GST Council is the one of the body which will operate entire GST model under GST network. तो GST Council क्या करता है? GST network operate करता है. But getting this? So rate decide करना, उसके बाद उसका network वगैरह जो GST n number जो लगता ना, means each and every manufacturing unit or any service industry whose turnover is above 40 lakhs. I'm repeating again, the organization, it may be manufacturing industry or service industry whose turnover is above 40 lakhs, they have to register they itself under GST. Getting this? तो ये GST Council में क्या होता है? तो GST Council will give you the रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर और GSTN नंबर. जो अगर हम लोगों ने डीमार्ट का बिल देखा या कोई भी शॉपिंग मॉल का या कोई भी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का बिल देखा तो उसमें होता है GSTIN नंबर रहता है, एंड दैट नंबर इज यूनिक। और वो यूनिक नंबर कौन देता है? दैट वी विल गेट बाय रजिस्टरिंग टू द GST काउंसिल। जब हम लोग GST काउंसिल को एज अ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, एज अ सर्विस इंडस्ट्री, वी हैव टू रजिस्टर आवर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अंडर GST काउंसिल, वी हैव टू फॉलो द रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस, and then we will get the registration number. Once we will get the registration number, then you are authorized to cut or to deduct the taxes through the consumers shopping, and these taxes will be directly goes to the central government's account, tax account, as well as state government's tax account. That is something about GST council. We will see in detail. Then next is the role and phases of GST council. So actually GST council start हुआ year 2000 में start किया when BJP government was in power, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister of India. So in year 2000, the actual activity was started and it was implemented in year 2017. यानी 17 साल लग गए, ठीक है? So in 2007, in the year 2000, actual working on this GST model was started, and then there was various committees. उसके बाद the government was changed. BJP government गया, कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट आ गया, फिर BJP गवर्नमेंट आ गया. इसके बाद then in the year 2014 again BJP government came into picture, and Narendra Modi ji gave the green signal for implementation of GST. So from year 2014, again the committee, standing committee, and so many experts worked on the particular model, and in the year 2017 we have started the GST. Okay, तो इसका जो role and phases जो GST के है, that also we have to study in GST council, phases of GST council. Then constitutional provisions to enforce indirect taxation and GST, ये भी हम लोगों को फर्स्ट यूनिट में देखना है. Next one is the CES, CESS. You must have studied this word in direct taxation. Can anybody tell me CES किसको बोलते हैं, या सरचार्ज? CES पढ़ा है word? Yes or no? Says it is the surcharge. It is nothing but tax on tax. It is says is nothing but it is the extra tax. It is the extra tax on your tax. Okay. So this is something about your first unit. Then in case of second unit, just see what we have to study. Registration process of GST that we have studied. So if I, being an organization, being a service industry, being a manufacturing industry, if I feel that my turnover is going to cross 40 lakhs, then I have to register my firm for GST. Okay, तो ये GST का registration process क्या है, that also I can study here in second unit. Then person liable for the registration, who is going to be liable for the registration. Then compulsory registration किसको है, voluntarily registration किसको है, मैंने अभी बताया, जिसका turnover 40 lakhs क्रॉस होता है, थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट बोलते हैं. If any organization is crossing the limit, that is the threshold limit of 40 lakhs, then that organization has to register. Then deemed registration यानी, so once you have done the registration, once you have applied for the registration, apply होने के बाद up to certain time you can wait for the registration, you can wait for to start the business. अगर उसी दिन के अंदर registration नहीं आया, so you will consider after crossing that period's time, then you will consider that your registration is deemed registration. Means what? Once you get the approval of deemed registration, you can start your manufacturing activity or you can start your buying and selling activity. उसको बोलते हैं deemed registration. Then cancellation versus revocation of registration कब होता है ये? then यूनिक आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर, अभी मैंने बताया GSTIN नंबर मिलता है. ईच एंड एवरी सर्विस इंडस्ट्री और एनी इंडस्ट्री दे विल गेट दिस GSTIN नंबर. देन जीएसटीएन नंबर फॉर्मेट देखना है, देन टाइप्स एंड पीरियोडिसिटी ऑफ जीएसटी रिटर्न। जैसे कि हम लोगों ने ये देखा इन केस ऑफ डायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन, हम लोगों ने देखा है कि वी हैव टू फाइल डायरेक्ट टैक्स एनुअली। देखा है हम लोगों ने, डायरेक्ट टैक्स हम लोगों को साल में एक ही बार पेमेंट करना पड़ता है। बट इन केस ऑफ दिस, इन केस ऑफ डायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन, monthly you have to pay this indirect tax. Means what? Tax of January month, let us take one example. Tax of January month we have to pay in next month before 20th, यानी फरवरी में मुझे 20th डेट के पहले मुझे जनवरी महीने का मुझे क्या करना है, टैक्स पेमेंट करना है। Again, there are some of the rules, there are some of the conditions on turnover. टर्नओवर के ऊपर मुझे ये कंडीशंस अप्लाई होती है। जनरली जिसका टर्नओवर ज्यादा है, such organization has to pay tax in the next month but before 20th date. Okay, so that also we have to see. In case of direct taxation, we have seen that we have to pay annual taxation, annual tax. Okay, once in the year we have to pay tax. Okay, but in case of the indirect taxation, some tax we have to pay on monthly basis, some tax we have to pay on quarterly basis. Again, it depends upon your turnover. Okay, then we have to study the रेगुलर टैक्स पेयर किसको बोलते हैं, कंपोजिशन टैक्स पेयर किसको बोलते हैं, कैजुअल टैक्सेबल पर्सन किसको बोलते हैं, नॉन टैक्सेबल पर्सन किसको बोलते हैं। रेगुलर टैक्स पेबल पेयर मींस व्हाट, द पर्सन who has registered under one product, was registered under for one product or one service. Composite taxpayer means what, here along with your, for example what I am doing, I am manufacturing, for example, shoes. Okay, so for that manufacturing of these shoes I have registered, I got the GSTI number. उसके बाद शूज के साथ भी मुझे और भी कुछ बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना है। So at that time there is no need to get the separate GSTN number for next product. So you can register under same GSTN number. तो उसको बोलते हैं composite taxpayer. Means what, under one GSTN number you can add multiple products and multiple services. Okay, then this was something about your second unit. Now in third unit, what to study, that is the supply under GST and valuation of supply, how the tax is going to be calculated, how the tax is going to be calculated. And GST is place based, destination based tax बोलते हैं इसको, क्या बोलते हैं, destination based tax. So just looking we were studying about this. We were studying about the syllabus. So we have just discussed about this unit number 3, that is regarding to supply under GST, in which we have to study levy and collection of the taxes. Okay. Then we have to study supply. What is mean by supply? Then place of supply, interstate and intra-state supply. Interstate means what? You are supplying goods and services from one state to other state. For example, one manufacturer of Maharashtra is supplying goods to the Kanpur, or in case of Gujarat, that time it is called as interstate supply. Okay. Intrastate means what? I am sending my goods and services from Mumbai to Nagpur. That is called as intrastate supply. Okay. So in case of intrastate supply, the taxes levied will be CGST and SGST. That is the state authority. State has the authority to collect the tax, and one proportion will go towards the state government about the tax, and one portion will go to the central government. But if you are sending your goods and services from Mumbai to Surat, at that time, two states, there is the transaction. This transaction is in between Maharashtra and Gujarat. At that time, you have to pay IGST. You have to pay IGST. Means what? There is no SGST and there is no CGST. If you are sending your goods and services from one state to other state, that time you have to pay IGST. If you are doing your transaction within one state, at that time you have to pay tax to the respective state, as well as one part of your tax is going to be paid to the state government and another part will be towards the central government. Okay. तो उसको बोलते हैं interstate and intrastate supply. On the basis of this, your liability will depend. Then export of the services. Again, if you are in case of exporting your services, it is as good as interstate supply. Getting this? So again here you have to pay IGST. समझ में आ रहा है? अगर हम लोग एक स्टेट से दूसरे स्टेट को अगर गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज सप्लाई करते हैं तो IGST is applicable. Getting this? अगर if you are going to export goods and services, at that time also you have to pay IGST. You have to pay IGST. Okay. Then तो IGST में जितना भी proportion जाएगा, that will be again divided, again distributed among the various states. तो IGST में one time हम लोग हमारा, for example, I'll tell you one example. अगर मेरे गुड्स मुंबई से नागपुर जा रहे हैं तो आई हैव टू पे फॉर एग्जांपल 5% टैक्स टू द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एंड 5% टैक्स टू द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट. तो स्टेट सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का हिस्सा और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को भी उसका हिस्सा मिल रहा है. But if you are sending goods and services from Mumbai to Surat, at that time this is called as an interstate supply. So at that time you have to pay IGST. And what will be the rate of IGST? That is the contribution of state plus contribution of central government. So total मेरा 10% जाएगा, जो कि मैं 5% स्टेट को देता था और 5% सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को देता था. अभी क्या हो जाएगा? इन केस ऑफ इंटरस्टेट सप्लाई पूरा 10% सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास है. गेटिंग दिस? एंड दिस 10% जो मेरा 5% रिस्पेक्टिव स्टेट का सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास गया है ना, वो पैसा फिर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट स्टेट को वापस करेगा. गेटिंग दिस? सो दिस इज द प्रोसेस. So that is in case of export of services or export of goods and services. In case of imports of goods and services, again what is going to happen? You have to pay directly to the central government. There is no contribution from your end to the state government. Okay, that we have to study over here. Then valuation of supply, how you are going to calculate the value of that supply, because on the basis of that value you are going to pay the tax. Okay, then supply under GST regime and rules and regulation. Then next which we have to see, that is the composition levy, then exemption from the tax. Okay. Do you know what are the tax, GST tax available? कौन से टैक्स लगते हैं? रेट्स ऑफ टैक्सेस आपको पता है कौन से हैं? इट्स 0%, 5%, 12%, 18%, and last is the 28%. Getting this? So 28% is the tax which is applicable for in case of luxurious things. Luxurious things means what? If I am purchasing BMW, Audi, or such kind of Fortuner vehicle, at that time the tax rate I will be the tax rate which is liable to me is equal to 28%. अगर मैं मूवी के टिकट्स लेता हूं तो देखो उसमें कितना टैक्स आता है, 28%, बिकॉज you are going to serve, you are going to get the luxurious things. अगर luxurious things में ज्यादा होता है टैक्स रेट. गेटिंग दिस? तो ये टाइप्स टैक्स रेट भी हमको यहाँ पे स्टडी करने हैं. देन टीडीएस एट सोर्स, दैट इज द टैक्स डिडक्शन एट सोर्स. जैसे कि हम लोगों ने, आई थिंक वी हैव स्टडीड दिस इन डायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन एज वेल. So this is something about your third unit. Then let us go for next unit. Uh, Here what we have to study, that is the input tax credit under GST. Tax credit, okay, you have not studied this in डायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन. टैक्स क्रेडिट क्या होता है ये भी हम लोग देखेंगे. टैक्स क्रेडिट कैसे वर्कआउट होता है, बिकॉज हियर जीएसटी कौन पे करता है? अल्टीमेटली कंज्यूमर is going to pay the tax. Direct taxation में क्या था? This is the directly charged on the person's income. The tax which was directly charged on the person's income, that is called as a direct tax. Indirect tax means what? The tax which is indirectly collected to the from the end user or customer. तो इसमें हम लोग क्या करते हैं? We are going to shift the burden of tax from one point to other point. इसमें क्या होता है? There are some of the stages in case of manufacturing of goods or services. For example, manufacturer रहता है, उसके बाद मेरा होलसेलर रहेगा, उसके बाद मेरा रिटेलर रहेगा, और रिटेलर के बाद मेरा कंज्यूमर रहेगा. जो टैक्स मेरा मैन्युफैक्चरर पेमेंट करने वाला है, वो टैक्स का बर्डन को क्या करेगा? उसके फाइनल वैल्यू में ऐड करके होलसेलर को देगा. होलसेलर क्या करेगा? उसमें कुछ वैल्यू एडिशन करेगा, और उसका वैल्यू वो किससे रिकवर करेगा? रिटेलर से. रिटेलर क्या करेगा? जितना भी उसका कॉस्ट रिकवर किया रहेगा होलसेलर ने, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर ने, मैन्युफैक्चरर ने, वो क्या करेगा? कंज्यूमर से ले लेगा. ओके. So on the basis of this, here in these various stages, each person or each manufacturer or wholesaler or distributor, he is going to shift this burden towards the end user. Okay. So यहाँ पे हम लोगों को क्या सीखना है? How this tax burden is going to transfer from one person to other person, means till the end user. So end user, ultimately who is going to pay the tax? End user or customer is going to pay the tax. Getting this? लेकिन और टैक्स रिकवर कहां से करना है? कंज्यूमर से करना है, कस्टमर से करना है. लेकिन वॉट एवर टैक्स इज गोइंग टू पे, okay, this will be recovered from manufacturer to retailers. So on the basis of this, at every stages, each wholesaler, and distributor will get the credit. क्रेडिट यानी जो अर्लियर स्टेजेस पे टैक्स पेमेंट किया रहेगा उसका आपको क्रेडिट मिलेगा. तो इसका मतलब द टैक्स व्हिच इज पेड एट द अर्लियर स्टेज, एज अ रिटेलर आई डोंट हैव टू पे दैट टैक्स अगेन. गेटिंग दिस? So that is something about tax credit. ये भी हमको देखना है. Utilization, then input tax credit reversion, then types of GST returns. कौन से GST returns होते हैं, उसके due dates के कौन से हैं. Then late filing, late fee, interest, that we have to see. In reverse charge mechanism, new GST return, overview, forms, invoices, ITC. Then amendments, then what are the offline tools available for the end users. Then new GST return system, that also we have to see for this GST return system. And last unit is regarding to the definition of certain terms related to the custom act and custom tariff act. ओके, तो कस्टम क्या होता है एंड कस्टम टेरिफ एक्ट क्या होता है, दैट वी हैव टू सी इन द फिफ्थ यूनिट. Then levy of custom duties. So how this custom is different than GST? How the custom is different than GST? Okay. तो हम लोग ये देखेंगे. Then basic custom duty कितना है? Then IGST क्या होता है? Then protective duties, then safeguard duties, then countervailing duties, subsidized articles, anti-dumping duties, then import process, export process, valuation of import goods, then valuation of export goods and penalties under customs and refunds that we have to study in custom duties. Okay, so this was the syllabus of your subset. Okay, now let us start with the tax. Okay. Uh, First, we need to understand what is meant by tax. Okay. So tax means what? It is the charge, it is the fees, or it is the charge, or it is the fee which is levied by either central government or state government on it is the fees charged by central government or state government on either on product or income or any kind of activity. तो उसको बोलते हैं टैक्स. टैक्स इज नथिंग बट इट इज कंपल्सरली contribution of the person whose income is above threshold limit. Getting this? And it is tax is the again it is the fees or contribution collected by state and central government on your consumption. On your consumption means what? If you are going to purchase any kind of goods and services at that time, you can take any example. If you see the biscuit, अगर biscuit का pack भी देखा तो वहां पे होता है maximum retail price. Maximum retail price. So the maximum retail price is the tag, which is the price which includes the tax to the government as well. Okay. So if you are going to consume one biscuit pack at that time, once I once I purchase the biscuit pack, at the time of purchasing that biscuit box, I have to pay tax. Means what? Before consumption or at the time of consumption I have to pay tax. That is called as an indirect tax. Okay. Then basically this as per income tax, our constitution has been given right. Our constitution has been given the right to central government as well as state government to levy the tax from individual and to levy the tax from end user as well as consumer. समझ में आ रहे? तो गवर्नमेंट टैक्स क्यों लेता है? बिकॉज constitution has been given right. Our Indian constitution has been given right to the country as well as to the state to levy or to collect the tax from the individuals. Okay, so basically there are two taxes, that is the direct taxes and indirect taxes. Direct tax means what? The tax which is levied directly on the income or wealth of the person. Okay, if one person's income is above threshold limit, if the one person is crossing that particular limit which is decided by the income tax department, then I have to pay the tax. If my income is below 2 lakhs, then I have no need to pay the tax. इसका मतलब if I am earning more than somebody else, that time I have to pay tax, and this is directly charged on the income of the person. उसको बोलते हैं assessee. Okay, so there are two types of direct tax nowadays. That is, first is there are the two types of tax. That is, one is the direct tax as well as wealth tax, income tax as well as wealth tax. So under income tax, you have seen various heads of income. Can anybody tell me what are the heads of income you have studied in direct taxes? There are 5 heads of income which you might have studied under direct taxes. Can anybody tell me? Which are the 5 heads of income you have studied? Yes, students. Which 5 heads you have studied? Have you studied income from salary, income from house property, then capital gain, then income from business profession, and next is the income from other sources. So all clubbing of that, these 5 heads income, that is called as the income tax. Okay. Next is the wealth tax. Means if you are generating or if you are creating wealth, at that time also you have to pay the tax. Getting this? So this is something about direct tax. Direct tax works under Ministry of Finance. Under Ministry of Finance, there is the CBDT. CBDT and a Central Board of Direct Taxes. Okay, which is the regulatory authority which will supervise each and everything under direct taxes. Okay, again, our constitution has been given right to central government as well as to the state government to collect the indirect tax. अभी देखिए indirect tax क्या है? It is the tax if it is levied on the price of goods or the services. ये tax किसके ऊपर लगता है? Goods and services के ऊपर लगता है. In case of manufacturing industry, this tax is applicable. In case of service industry like banking industry, hotel industry, or cinema, or banking industry, insurance industry, this tax is applicable. So the tax is levied on the prices of goods and services, then it is called as the indirect taxes. For example, it is excise duty was there, value-added tax is there, custom duty is there, then octroi was there, then LBT was there. So these are the indirect taxes. So why it is called as an indirect tax? Why it is called as an indirect tax? Because in this case, the indirect taxes, the person paying the tax passes on the incidence to another person. अगर मैंने कुछ टैक्स पेमेंट किया रहेगा on my goods and services as a retailer, as a distributor, तो मैं क्या करूंगा? When I'm going to sell this product to the retailer, तो जितना भी टैक्स मैंने गवर्नमेंट को पे किया रहेगा, I'm going to recover this tax from the retailer. Getting this? Means what? I am shifting my tax burden on retailer. तो retailer क्या करेगा? जितना भी टैक्स उसने प्रोडक्ट डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर से लेते, होलसेलर से लेते समय पे किया रहेगा, the same tax and sum of value addition, he will shift this burden to the end user. Retailer जब वो कस्टमर को प्रोडक्ट बेचेगा, तब वो क्या करेगा? Actual value of the product along with whatever tax he has paid earlier, this entire tax will be charged on the customer. तो मैन्युफैक्चरर ने क्या किया? बर्डन होलसेलर के ऊपर लगाया, होलसेलर ने टैक्स का बर्डन रिटेलर के ऊपर लगाया, और रिटेलर क्या कर रहा है? द सेम बर्डन ही इज पेइंग, हु इज शिफ्टिंग टुवर्ड्स द एंड यूजर और द कंज्यूमर. तो हम लोग जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, बिस्किट का मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी जितना भी टैक्स पेमेंट करेगी, वो क्या करेगा? मैन्युफैक्चरर क्या करेगा? होलसेलर के ऊपर लगाएगा. ठीक है, तो होलसेलर क्या करेगा? रिटेलर को दे देगा वो टैक्स का बर्डन. और रिटेलर यानी फॉर एग्जांपल हमारा डीमार्ट, वो हमारा डीमार्ट क्या करेगा? हम लोग जब प्रोडक्ट्स परचेस करेंगे तो क्या करेगा? हमारे ऊपर से वो रिकवरी करेगा. Getting this? Means whatever are the stages in the manufacturing process, from manufacturing to the reaching towards the end users, the tax is shifting from one person to other person till the end user. तो इसको बोलते हैं indirect taxation. Okay. अभी देखिए why taxes are levied. हम लोग taxes क्यों गवर्नमेंट लेते हैं? So first is the, it is the basic source of our government. Okay. So this is the one of the source, major source of our Indian our central government as well as state government to generate the revenue, to run this country, to make the available facilities like defense, then provision of education, healthcare, infrastructural facilities, roads, dams, then military के खर्चे, ये सारे खर्चे करने के लिए government needs some of the funds, and these funds are collected through these taxes, that is direct taxes as well as indirect. Okay, so this is the right, this is the right given to the central government as well as state government by our constitution, and we are driving our country as per our constitution. So as per our constitution, central government as well as state government has got the right to collect the tax from the individual assessee as well as from the manufacturer, from the end user. Okay, So that government ये पैसा कहाँ पे utilize करता है? Why government needs funds? Because to overcome the economic balance of the country, of the states. So whatever taxes government has been collected, it will be utilized once again for the development of economy. ये इकोनॉमी डेवलप करने के लिए, इकोनॉमी बूस्टअप करने के लिए जो पैसा हम लोग टैक्स के फॉर्म में गवर्नमेंट को पे करते हैं, द सेम अमाउंट इज गोइंग टू बी यूटिलाइज फॉर द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ कंट्री. तो इसलिए पैसे कलेक्ट करना, दैट इज द राइट ऑफ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एज वेल एज स्टेट गवर्नमेंट. एंड दिस इज नॉट वॉलंटरी. पेइंग द टैक्स इज नॉट अ वॉलंटरली एक्टिविटी. वॉलंटरली यानी if my income is about 10 lakhs, I can't say that I will not pay the tax. Getting this? So if your income is government or central government of Central Board of Direct Taxes has been decided that जो लोगों का income above threshold limit है उसको टैक्स लगना ही लगना है. उसके रेट्स वगैरह सब कुछ उन्होंने स्पेसिफाई. Getting this? So if you are not paying tax, that time government can take some actions on you. If your income is above threshold limit, अगर आपका इनकम 3 लाख से ज्यादा है, 2 लाख से ज्यादा है, जो कुछ उनका exemption limit रहेगा. Okay. So if your income is above that particular exemption limit, then you have to pay tax. If you don't pay tax, government can take action against you, because that taking action is given in the constitution. Okay, so that government has a basic right to collect the tax. It is the basic source of revenue to the government, and whatever sources, whatever is the revenue government has generated through direct as well as indirect taxes, that will be utilized for the development of economy in the country. That's why government can collect this tax. Okay. The next thing is why we are going to pay the tax. हम लोग क्यों टैक्स पेंगे? ओके, तो गवर्नमेंट तो टैक्स लेता है, लेकिन हम लोगों ने क्यों टैक्स पेमेंट करना चाहिए? क्यों करना चाहिए? Because we are the resident of this nation. Getting this? So being, so at the time of residing in this country, we are utilizing public roads, then dams, water, public health facilities, then we are utilizing some of the natural resources, then at the artificial resources of this country. For the maintenance of these natural resources as well as artificial resources of my earning is more than or above the threshold limit, that time I have to pay tax to the government. Okay. So next, objectives of the taxes. हम लोग टैक्स या गवर्नमेंट टैक्स क्यों लेता है? First is that to raise the government's revenue, tax will be levied. Second is the regulation of the consumption and production. To keep the regulatory activity, to keep regulation of consumption. Consumption यानी utilization and manufacturing activity. ये continue करने के लिए we have to provide some of these basic facilities to the industries, basic facilities to the employees, so that through this source of income, to the government can apply, government can also establish some of the facilities and services. That's why taxes will be required. Then encouraging, so with the help of these taxes, we can encourage to the domestic industry to manufacture a lot and to distribute and to sell it in the market. Okay. Then with the help of these taxes, what is going to happen? Whatever tax is collected, it will be again invested in the development of economy, development of some of the society. To remove the unequal imbalances of economy, we can collect or we have to pay the tax. As a manufacturer, as an individual, we have to pay tax. Okay. So next one is reducing income inequalities. Reducing income inequalities means what? We are going to provide basic facilities like basic health facilities, education facilities to the individuals. Okay. So with the help of this basic kind of facilities, we are going to we are going to boost the income of the people. Okay, so by providing some of these services, by establishing some of the industries into certain area, we are going to improve the economy of that particular area so that people get the employment. Okay, and automatically what is going to happen, the income of this person is going to increase, so automatically economy will boost up. That's why it is required. To promote the economic growth, taxation is required. Then development of backward region, so we'll set up the industries at certain areas, we'll give the subsidies, we'll motivate to the businessmen to start the businesses, so due to which, so the areas which are backward areas in our country, we are going to boost these kind of areas. And to ensure the price stabilities, we have to collect the taxes. Okay, now next is the canon of taxation. Under the canon of taxation, there are the four canons. First is the canon, यानी for example उसको क्या बोलते हैं, rules or principles of the taxation. First is it is the canon of equality, canon of certainty, canon of convenience, and canon of convenience. Canon of equality क्या है देखिए, it states that person should be taxed according to their ability to pay tax. If means what? If my income is below 2 lakhs, then I don't have to pay tax. If my income is more 2 lakhs, then I will get some of the deductions up to 1,50,000 and then I have to pay tax. Above 1,50,000, I have to pay tax. Getting this? Means what? Those person who earn more, he has to pay the tax. Okay, that is called as the canon of equality. Then second one is that एज पर डीमार्ट में मैं जितना परचेस करूंगा, डीमार्ट का बिल जितना आया रहेगा, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस आई हैव टू पे टैक्स. अगर मेरा बिल 500 का रहेगा तो 500 के प्रोपोर्शन में मुझे टैक्स आएगा. अगर मेरा बिल 5000 का रहेगा तो 5000 के प्रोपोर्शन में एंड वैरायटी ऑफ गुड्स के हिसाब से मुझे टैक्स लगना चाहिए. गेटिंग दिस? सो दिस टैक्स इज इक्वल टू ऑल दिस. जो भी जाएगा और वो प्रोडक्ट लेगा उसको सेम ही टैक्स रेट लगने वाला है. अमीर गया तो उसको अलग टैक्स, गरीब गया उसको अगर टैक्स, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. दैट इज द इक्वालिटी. रेट ऑफ टैक्स इज इक्वल टू एवरीबॉडी. if my income is more than that, then I have to pay tax. And if I am utilizing this kind of services, for example अगर मैं मूवी नहीं गया तो मुझे luxurious tax 28% नहीं लगने वाली. Getting this? if I go to movie, that time I have to pay luxurious tax. तो आप अगर घर में बैठे तो आपको लग्जरियस टैक्स 28% भरने की जरूरी नहीं है. गेटिंग दिस? तो मूवी को जो कुछ अमीर जाएगा या गरीब जाएगा, सबको 28% टैक्स लगेगा. दैट इज समथिंग अबाउट कैनन ऑफ इक्वालिटी. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाई दिस प्रिंसिपल इज आल्सो नोन एज कैनन ऑफ एबिलिटी. तो एज पर योर एबिलिटी यू हैव टू पे टैक्स. गेटिंग दिस? सो इक्वालिटी डज नॉट मीन इक्वल अमाउंट ऑफ. तो अमीर जितना भरेगा उतना इनकम टैक्स, गरीब को भरने की जरूरी नहीं. सो but equality in tax burden, canon of equality implies the progressive tax system. Progressive tax system यानी जो if I increase my shopping, accordingly tax burden is going to come. If I prefer certain luxurious products or specified products, according to my tax burden is going to come. Okay, that is something about equality. And throughout the year, once government has been decided कि इसके ऊपर 28% टैक्स लगने वाला है, 18% लगने वाला है, then you have to pay tax. Okay. Then next is the canon of certainty. So according to this canon, the tax which each individual is required to pay should be certain and not arbitrary. Means what? The rate of tax is not going to change every time, every month. Once it is decided, then it will be continued. Okay. Then the time of payment, manner of payment, and amount to be paid should be clear to every taxpayer. So GST, if you take the example of any goods and services, for example, let us take the DMart. उसका CGST कितना गया, कितने कौन से प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर 5% की कौन से प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर लगा, 0% कितने कौन से प्रोडक्ट्स के ऊपर लगा, 12% कौन से प्रोडक्ट्स के ऊपर लगा, 18% कौन से प्रोडक्ट्स के ऊपर होके आता है हमारे बिल के ऊपर. ठीक है? Means what? Each and everything is transparent. Each and everything is transparent, and it is known to the buyer as well as to the consumer. Okay. So this is something about canon of certainty. Then canon of convenience. So इसमें क्या है? Rate of taxes when it should be paid. Again here, if I am individual person, that time I have to pay the tax as per my convenience on the after 1 year. Okay. Okay. Now at the time of paying the tax, you have various options. ऑफलाइन भी कर सकते हैं, ऑनलाइन भी कर सकते हैं. As per my convenience I can pay the tax. Okay, but as a buyer, as a manufacturer, as a say wholesaler, or as a distributor, again it is written or it is mentioned that when you have to pay the tax. So again it depends upon nature of your turnover, the amount of your turnover. So as per my amount of turnover I have to pay tax. So as per my convenience, and when it is to be paid, it is already mentioned. Okay, so this is something about canon of convenience. And canon of economy means what? Cost of collection to the state government as well as to the this cost will be again less to the end users. We should not spend more money, more amount for the collection of the services. Okay, so we have seen some of the canons of taxation. First one was equality, and equal number of means what? Rates will be same. Then the rates will not rate is not going to change. So as per my capacity I have to pay tax. अगर मैं ज्यादा shopping करूंगा तो ज्यादा tax payment करना पड़ेगा. If I prefer such products on which tax is heavy tax is applicable, then only it is applicable to me. जैसे कि मैंने बताया, अगर मैं मूवी नहीं गया तो मुझे टैक्स मूवी के ऊपर का टैक्स नहीं लगेगा. Getting this? If I am purchasing zero rated products, for example milk, okay, or for example any if I am going to purchase any cosmetics, if I am going to purchase any four-wheeler, at that time rate will be different. If I am going to if I am going to get some liquor, wine, if I'm going to get some petrol, so rate is going to change. Okay, so these are the various canons of taxation. Okay, now look at this diagram. So there are two types which we have studied, that is the direct tax as well as indirect tax. Under direct tax there is the income tax and wealth tax. Under indirect tax there is the excise duty, custom duty, service tax and VAT. अभी क्या हुआ है? Just look at this indirect tax. जो भी अर्लियर स्टेज में जो कुछ टैक्सेस थे, एक्साइज ड्यूटीज, कस्टम ड्यूटीज, सर्विस टैक्स एंड सेल्स टैक्स, इसको किसने रिप्लेस किया है? जीएसटी ने रिप्लाई किया है. सारे इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस, फोर इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस, वी आर नाउ अंडर द नेम ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विस टैक्सेस. Getting this? So under the types of taxes, basic types of taxes are direct taxes as well as indirect taxes. Under indirect taxes, excise duty, custom duty, service tax and sales tax. Okay, so all these taxes, they have grouped together and the name is given like GST, goods and service tax. Okay, just look towards. यहाँ पे डायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन में क्या होता है? पर्सन हैज टू पे टैक्स ऑन द इनकम फ्रॉम हिज ओन पॉकेट. अगर मेरा इनकम, मेरा सैलरी इनकम अगर 5 लाख है, तो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस आई हैव टू पे टैक्स थ्रू माय पॉकेट. मींस whatever tax I'm paying on my income, I can't shift that burden towards somebody else. जितना भी मेरा 10,000 टैक्स गया रहेगा डायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन में ऑन माय इनकम, I can't recover this from somebody else. इसलिए उसको डायरेक्ट टैक्स बोलते हैं. इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स में क्या होता है? So whatever manufacturer is going to pay the tax on the manufacturing of that product, the same burden he is going to shift on the wholesaler. Wholesaler क्या करेगा? जितना भी वो टैक्स पेमेंट करेगा वो रिटेलर के ऊपर बर्डन शिफ्ट करेगा, और रिटेलर क्या किया करेगा? कंज्यूमर से वो रिकवरी करेगा. Getting this? So in this way, in case of indirect taxes, tax burden is shifted towards the next stage. That's why it is called as indirect tax. So there are various taxes like VAT, service tax, excise and custom duty. Okay, let us throw the light on some of the characteristics of direct taxation and indirect taxes. Direct tax cannot be transferred to some other parties. अभी मैंने बताया कि मैंने जो टैक्स में पेमेंट 10,000 किया रहेगा वो I can't shift on somebody else. लेकिन इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स में हम लोग क्या करते हैं, we can shift this burden towards somebody else. जैसे मैन्युफैक्चरर होलसेलर को शिफ्ट करेगा, होलसेलर रिटेलर को करेगा और रिटेलर कंज्यूमर को करेगा. It is charged on the income of the person. Direct tax is charged on the income of person, and indirect tax is the charge on the sale and purchase of the products and services. So sale and purchases के ऊपर indirect tax लगता है. It is directly paid by one party to the यानी the person who is earning money is going to pay directly to the government. यहाँ पे क्या है, इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन में क्या होता है, इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स इज आल्सो पेड बाय वन टू अनदर, yet the person who pays the tax recover it from the another part. दूसरों से रिकवर करने का चांस इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन में होता है. मींस व्हाट, here I am going to shift my burden of tax towards somebody else. Means what, indirectly tax is paid by the end user. The end user may be customer or consumer. Direct tax is charged after taxpayer receives the income. मुझे सैलरी 1 साल का मिलेगा तभी जाके मैं उसके ऊपर टैक्स पेमेंट करूंगा, डायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन. इसमें क्या है, बिफोर परचेसिंग द प्रोडक्ट्स, बिफोर टेकिंग द चार्ज ऑफ दैट प्रोडक्ट, आई हैव टू पे टैक्स. प्रोडक्ट मेरे हाथ में आने के पहले ही मुझे टैक्स पेमेंट करना पड़ता है, इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन. गेटिंग दिस? So this is the distinguish between direct taxes as well as indirect taxation. Okay, I think we have finished our time. So that was something about the background of indirect taxation. Okay, to the next lecture we will start with this basic again, how this tax burden is going to shifted from manufacturer to consumer. ये भी हम लोग देखेंगे. उसके बाद we will in the next lecture we will just touch with the goods and services tax. So whatever we have discussed today, that was the basic background of tax, that is direct tax as well as indirect tax. Okay, and as of now what we have studied, what is meant by tax. Okay, what we have studied, what is meant by tax. There are two types of taxes, direct tax as well as indirect tax. Then why we are going to charge the tax, why we are going to pay the tax, and why government is going to levy tax from us. Then we have seen the basic objective taxes, then canon of taxation, that is equality, certainty, convenience, and economy. Then we have seen about the two types of basic types, direct tax, indirect tax. Under indirect tax, excise duty, custom duty, service tax, and sales tax is there. And what is the distinguish between direct tax as well as indirect tax, we have seen. And now whatever was the component of indirect taxes, GST has replaced those components. Okay, so can we stop here? Yes, students.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In case of any suggestion, you can give me suggestion, so we will be implementing here. Okay, whether it is slow, fast, या explanation ज़्यादा होता है, कम होता है, you can just message me, or you can directly ask me question. Okay, so do you have any doubt regarding to this?
No, sir.
Okay, so let us stop here, and tomorrow we will be having session at 7. Be on time. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.